Donald Trump could win the election again without Wisconsin, without Michigan, or Pennsylvania. You keep hearing that Pennsylvania, Georgia are going to decide the election. And that very well may be true. But there's another state here that's pretty important, and it could be more important if this shift that may take place takes place. I know it's going to surprise Nebraska. That is definitely not the first one that popped into your mind.
No, it's not.
Maine, Nebraska, they're the only states that split their electoral votes. And right now, so Nebraska, for example, there's all of Nebraska, then there's Omaha, and that one goes to Democrats, typically. Okay? Break it down simply enough. Republicans are now trying, or at least they're engaging in an effort to change how the votes are counted, for them to be kind of more similarly to the rest of the Electoral College.
That nightmare scenario I mentioned now, the question will go to you, Ashley. Nebraska, one of just 2 states that doesn't have a winner-take-all system for electoral votes. Nebraska has one electoral vote that typically goes Democratic. Republicans want to change that, meaning all of the state's electoral votes would go to Trump. And that then creates this possible scenario of a 269-269 tie. So the election would be thrown to the House, likely giving Trump the victory.
Right. So there are some people who believe that Nebraska should be doing this in a way similar to other states where it's winner take all as far as the Electoral College is concerned. And then other critics are saying because Omaha is so different from the rest of Nebraska, it's almost like a mini Electoral College. They're not adequately represented in Nebraska as a whole. Of course, there are still some voters in Nebraska who are advocating for election by thunder vote. Two districts enter, one vote leaves.
That's a huge line.
Yeah. Listen, it's nothing but corn. I've been there.
Yes.
Omaha to Lincoln Drive is like 2.5, whatever hours of corn. That's it.
And Warren Buffett, he still brings a boxed lunch, just like you.
And the Little League World Series is there.
Oh!
Don't forget, and they got the steaks, I heard.
Well, if they switch this, I will tell you this, Donald Trump could win the election again without Wisconsin, without Michigan, or Pennsylvania.
Wow.
Because it would go to a tie, and then it would be a House vote.
Yes, so it would go to a tie. And you know what's interesting right now? The reason people are pissed is that Maine, when Nebraska talked about doing this, Maine said, if you do it, we'll do it as well, and it'll basically nullify. It'll cancel out, right? Because it goes the other way, I believe, in Maine. They said that. Now they're doing it before Maine can actually do it. Maine, if they pass a law, it takes 90 days for it to go on the books, and we're shorter than that to the election. We're under 90 days, so it wouldn't go into effect until the next election cycle. Mm-hmm. So that's really why they're pissed off and calling it the nightmare scenario.
Right.
Even though it's completely legal for Nebraska to do this at whatever point they want.
Right. And I get it, but I also think you already have the Electoral College for a reason. You know what I mean? It's so that we don't have this inequitable, to use the term of the left, distribution of influence as far as major cities. But if you did it this way, if you did it the way that Nebraska is doing it, you actually probably would never see a Democrat victory again. Because even if you look at places like California, you have like 4 major cities, maybe 5, and you go inland and it's pretty much all red.
Yeah.
So there are arguments to be made on both sides. And the issue here is there definitely seems to be something corrupt afoot. So the governor there, Jim Pillen, said that he would call a special session to vote on the issue. And then you have the state senator, Mike McConnell, said that he wouldn't support the change.
I know McConnell sucks.
Oh, did I say McConnell? Sorry, McDonald said, after deep consideration, it is clear to me that right now, 43 days from Election Day is not the moment to make this change. But keep in mind, this guy also specifically said he was interested in running for mayor of Omaha. And he switched from Democrat to Republican this April. So he switched from Democrat to Republican to potentially run as mayor of the one district that is Democrat in all of Nebraska. I don't know what to make of that, other than he obviously doesn't really seem to have convictions as it relates to anything. Also, that Donald Trump ripped him on Truth Social, which one could expect. He said, I would like to thank Governor Jim Pillen of Nebraska for trying to help the Republican Party simplify the complexity of the state's electoral map. And it's too complex, folks. Very complex. It would have been better and far less expensive for everyone! Exclamation point. Unfortunately, a Democrat turned Republican, state senator named Mike McDonald decided for no reason whatsoever to get in the way of a great Republican common sense victory. Just another grandstander.
Grandstander. By the way, he did go on to say legitimately in that there are 2 other, I guess, Republican no votes right now that maybe they're putting some pressure on to change their no vote to a yes vote.
Right.
So we'll see how it goes.
Well, there's a lot that could happen in Nebraska, of course. Hey, if you liked this video, you can comment or hit like. And you know that because you and I were a lot alike. Probably like dogs. I like dogs. If you like cats, I don't want you here. I'm not making videos for cat people. I told you, if you're a cat, I don't want you here. I'm not doing it. Not doing it for cat people. Dog person, click there. Cat person,